Coach, good morning.
Morning.
How are we feeling today?
Yeah, I mean, not great. We want to. You should feel these losses. You should sting, should hurt, should motivate you to keep moving, keep working, and get better. So, I mean, what else can you do? You can't, especially a week like today or like a week like this. You can't sit around and sulk. It's okay to be upset, but you gotta look for ways to move on and improve so we can go make it right on Thursday.
Salk and I are very different, Mike, as you can imagine. I can't eat after a loss like that. Salk, he's a comfort food. He needs to eat. Where does Coach Macdonald fit on that spectrum?
Well, normally I'm a comfort food type of guy, but after losses, I have a hard time eating. So Probably both.
Eye in the sky. What did the actual game tape show you?
And this is going to be a message to the team. It's what we thought after the game. We didn't play the way that we needed to play to win. All the things that we talk about in terms of execution, fundamentals, critical, high leverage situations, takeover margin, all those things just are pointed in the Giants' direction. So, got to give them credit for doing those things. And the good news is it's fixable on our end, but we're not getting it done right now. So that's the bad news. So that's what showed up.
Did you say takeover margin?
I just made that up on the fly.
Did you really? Or is that something you guys say in general?
No, we call it ball dominance.
Okay. Is that turnovers? Is that?
Yeah, I just try to keep it positive instead of saying don't give the ball away.
Right. Like it's actually somebody's taking it in one direction or another.
Yeah.
What else stands out to you as you watch? How do you get to that point? What leads to a lack of execution or some of the problems?
Well, there's a lot of conversations this morning, and you got to be brief and be up front with it. I mean, conversations about players and more. I'll leave that. That's private. That's in house. But it's open and it's honest, and it's going to be the same way with the guys when we see them, and then we got to go. And so. Some things are actual technique things. Some things are how we're playing certain plays on both sides of the ball, how we're IDing things offensively. And so you have to make those corrections because it's on tape. So unfortunately, we're finding, it's a combination of not finding new stuff to screw up. And I think that's where we're at.
Is it a little different, Coach, as you're gauging the energy level of the entire team versus the energy level of your defense, right? For years as a D coordinator, they're kind of gauging where your group is defensively and now trying to gauge the entire group, the entire team. Has that been a work in progress?
Well, everything's a work in progress. It's, you're always saying what decisions are we making and what's the best for the team. And so, even from last night to today, we're tweaking some of our schedule this week. And I think you just have to have that mindset to kind of move and shake and try to figure out what's best for the guys and what's best for the team and what they need to hear and how many reps you get and how you do it, in what order. I mean, all those things are, those are methods, right? We talk about methods are adjustable. The principle is doing it the right way and getting the right reps and making sure taking care of the guys' bodies and things like that.
How much of a factor was the short week?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna put a number on it. But this is like, hey, you want to be good? You want to play on Monday Night Football? You want to be the team that we want to be? Then that if you have success, not that like they scheduled the Monday Night Football game because we were 2-0, but at some point, if you're doing it right way, start getting. I mean, you're going to have short weeks. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to go out and play good the next week. That's a non-starter.
The 2 in a row, though, is rare to have 2 short weeks in a row. Did you and will you adjust to try to give guys more of a break because of it, or does that sacrifice too much practice? How do you handle the 2 short weeks in a row?
I think if it happens again, we'll go back and debrief on it. Right now, we're kind of in the thick of it. So, I mean, there's some things that I have in mind, but I thought we had a good schedule. I mean, we started late on Wednesday. We got all these things set up for the guys recovery-wise. Guys took advantage of it. we're not looking for excuses here on our operation or anything like that. We're attacking the process. That's the mentality. That's what we need to do today.
How do you feel about the tackling yesterday, Coach?
It's not good. It's not good. Some of it are angles. Some of it, guys aren't bringing their arms for whatever reason. And some are injury specific. But it's not. When you have multiple missed tackles in a game, it's never up to the standard of what you want. So, what do? You go back and you attack it, and you keep working the fundamental of it, and you practice the crap out of it in practice, and that's what you do. That's how you attack all the issues.
How much can you practice that? I mean, is it still something at this level that you're having guys practice?
Oh, yeah. You ask our guys. We practice tackling every day, and we do feedback, and I think we do. Our coaches do a great job of coaching it. We just got to do it better on game day. It's that simple, and we got to confront those issues. But we practice tackling every day, the fundamentals of it, put them in different situations. The angles we take in practice is probably the best reps that you can get when it's full speed. And so, but we need to do it better consistently. And so I think that's the step that we need to take.
How about the high completion percentage against your team the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, we're not doing a good enough job denying the ball, especially on early downs. And there's some strategy going on involved that I don't really want to talk about like publicly. That and so I think we've adjusted decently during probably good enough to make the necessary adjustments to keep us in the game towards the end. But we got to play those plays better. When we are in man-to-man situations, we have to keep our proper leverage that we're supposed to be in, and we got to win some of those one-on-ones. So, but we're not disrupting the timing like that we need to. It's a when you talk about affecting the quarterback, it's 11 guys. So it's what the quarterback thinks it is, getting him in passing situations, which we're not doing enough of. When the ball does want to come out fast, we're not disrupting the timing at the line of scrimmage. And then when he does hold on to it, when we do a good job on the back end, the rush has to come alive, which we just didn't create enough of those opportunities and didn't take advantage of when we were in them last night or yesterday.
I think, Mike, maybe all that stuff adds up to something you've said to us this year, which kind of was new to me from hearing from a defensive coordinator talk about anticipation. Always hear that with quarterbacks, right? I talk about it a lot on my broadcast. You got to anticipate that window. You got to anticipate. I hear you mention that just about every week with us defensively, which is a little bit new to me. And I'm going to guess your answer is everything you kind of just said right there. The best way for teams over your years of coordinating them to anticipate plays defensively is what?
Preparation throughout the week, and then understanding NFL football, man. Just any football for that matter. I mean, distributions, who's aligning where. The only way that you can anticipate and play with that type of speed is by having seen it. So if you haven't seen it before and you haven't been in that situation, then it's going to be really hard to anticipate what's about to happen. So you got to maximize that preparation throughout the week.
Did the Giants, hold on one second, Salk. Did the Giants do anything there? I know they had a few extra days to practice, and did they do anything there yesterday to disrupt some of that, change a bunch of tendencies, do kind of unique things that made maybe some of that anticipation difficult?
Look, I don't want to take credit away from them. I mean, look, they did what they were supposed to do, so you got to give them credit with how they ended up. I think they adjusted early in the game on some things they saw how we were playing, so then we had to adjust on how they were doing it. I don't know that for sure. I'm just going off of what they had shown on tape before, but the plays that they were running for the most part are everyone gets to the same plays. It's just how you dress it up. And then there, in certain areas of the field, they had some shots and specials, but that's par for the course in any game. Teams are going to try to, cook some things up in certain situations, and one in particular they hit on, and a couple other they didn't. And but on defense, you have to defend everything. That's why it's defense. The offense is the ones that picks the plays, and you have to go knock them out.
I've been enjoying learning about your process and how you make decisions. what went into and how did you make the decision on the going for it on fourth down early in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it was. I think it was a decision throughout the week that we really liked our menu on the fourth downs. We felt confident in it. The numbers, again, you're not always going to put it on the analytic numbers, but we knew the model throughout the game and in those situations was a go, and so that's what we did. And I mean, yeah, it didn't work out for us. Is it the best call if the DN's going to play it exactly like that? No, it's not. It's not the right play to be in. But the best you can do is prepare the absolute best you can and try to make the right decisions. And we're going to learn from that. It doesn't mean we're not going to go for 4th and 1s in negative territory moving forward. That's not what we're saying. But yeah, it's obviously you wish you would have got it, but you look at your process and you say, okay, well, we had a play we liked, and we went for it and we didn't get it.
How do you feel like Geno handled everything yesterday, Coach?
I mean, look, it's not like we're having him and I are having a debrief between each series. There's a lot going on there, but based on his body language, I mean, look, he was frustrated. I know that. Geno's a guy that cares a lot, which is why you love him, and that's why he's so competitive, and he lays it on the line out there. I mean, how do you not support a guy like that? I mean, it's just so. I thought he handled it pretty dang well. And at the end of the day, I mean, as bad as everything felt like it went, which you're looking at a halftime score of us being tied at 10-10 after giving up 1,000 yards to these guys in the first half, and having like 10 plays on offense. It's a tie football game. And then at the end of the game, we're in a position to maybe win the game and kick a field goal. So there's fight there. There's fight there with our guys, and that's something that we still have to build on. We're still in week 6 here. We're still in the growth stages of our team, and we got to go. We got to move on. I mean, it's the NFL. No one cares. no one feels bad for you, But I'll tell you this: the guys that we have in our locker room, those are our guys. And we're gonna go to war with those dudes, and they're the right guys for the job.
From your perspective, what happened on the field goal block?
Frankly, it's just a technique error, and they had a good scheme. But if we execute our protection the way we should be, then we shouldn't have a free jump through. So,
is that an alert when you got a dude like Isaiah Simmons? We had the same thing with Cam Chancellor years ago to block a kick and win it in a very similar lane to jump over. Yep. Is that something when you see a creature like Isaiah Simmons who is so doggone athletic that maybe there is an alert to that kind of situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Something that the Giants hadn't had on tape, but just NFL blueprint, field goal block, like you said, Brock, you got to be aware for that type of stuff.
How do you feel like the special teams phase of the game through what are we at now? 5 games, the 6 on Thursday night. Where do you feel like the special teams as a group is at?
I think it's a microcosm of our football team. There's a lot of great things on tape, and then there's a lot of situations where they're helping us win football games, and then there's some kind of high leverage plays that have hurt us as well. So. That's where it's at. That's our team. I mean, it's guys are working. You turn the tape on, and you leave the game, and you're upset because you lost. But I will tell you this: the guys are fighting, man. They are playing hard, and it's our job as coaches to make it come to life. To make sure the execution's there. Like anytime it's not the way you want it on tape. I mean, that's our responsibility. So. Special teams wise, defense, offense, all 3 phases.
How much of a role do you have in the offensive tempo? I know you're not calling plays, but
a very big role. Very big role. It's not on a per play basis, but it's how we want to play games, and not every time that we're on the ball we're snapping it. Mm-hmm. So you are utilizing clock to a certain extent. So I think it's a per game on how you want to, try to manage the game.
Are you involved in that series to series of, hey, I'd like to
Yeah.
go up tempo here. I want to make sure we slow it down.
Yeah, of course.
So that's part of the give and take and conversation with Grubb during the game.
Yep.
And it was such a wacky game, as you mentioned there, so few plays. And I know you were asked about it yesterday, Mike, at the press conference, of just the number of run plays, right? Just the number of touches for Ken as he kind of go back now and study the ebbs and flows of that entire game. Anything jump out to you in the run game and just the lack of at-bats?
Well, yeah, to your point, Brock, you got to have more at-bats in the run game. We got to give the ball to K9 more, period. I mean, it's just Zach as well. It's just there's no going around it. There's definitely going back at it some more opportunities as drives start to get going where we can kind of get back to normal operation and make sure we're giving Ken the ball. So again, those are gonna vary from game to game, but we can't be just handing the ball off to him 5 times. So it's a disservice to him.
How did your O-line come through that game?
Well, again, you're dropping back a ton and you give up 7 sacks. A couple of them are a function of like where they're at in the game, and Geno's holding on to the ball because they're trying to push it downfield. But I think we're on the right track with those guys. Again, you watch the film, and there's things we need to clean up technique wise, and some other things in the run game. We missed one ID in the pass game, and we want to attack those things. So just like the rest of the team, it's simple. It's not there yet. It needs to be there, but it's not. So what are you going to do? You got to go make it. You got to go make it right. You got to stay the course, and go work.
Do you look at fumbles as more of a mental thing or a physical thing? Are fumbles about physical, or are they about concentration?
Both. Absolutely. On both sides of the ball. You can't just be shooting your shot, trying to force fumbles on defense. You start missing a bunch of tackles. So there's ways when the ball does come to life in certain areas. Normally it's when you're going to the ground, which we saw with DK in both of his fumbles. So something that I know that he's aware of. And, we'd have to protect the ball better when we're going to the ground.
Mike, Salk will drop some Ralph Waldo Emerson on me. He'll drop some Latin. He'll drop some Latin on me. I'll try to take some notes of these things and use them. You said something earlier I wrote down. I want to make sure I got it right because I do like it. You said the methods are adjustable, but the principle is
set in stone.
What does that? Can you help me understand that? What that looks like and what that means?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's hey, you want to have a growth mindset on how you do things, but you want to stick to your rock solid foundation. And so, us as a team, we use all these like terms like chasing edges and things like that. So, what are the things and how we operate? All that stuff it's not debatable, but it's up for discussion on what's the best for us. All those things. When you practice, how many reps, what reps you do, how you handle walkthroughs, all that stuff. But the principle of the matter is like the focus, the intent, how we play, our mentality, things like that. That you say, hey, no, we're hanging our hat on. This is who we're going to be, and we're going to go down swinging with those principles.
I think one of those principles that'll come to life Thursday night, because it's what Shanahan, just that very name, has always said for decades, of running the football and getting back to stopping that run, right? What are some of the principles as we lean into Thursday night? Just the principles that go in to stopping the run and making sure, it's not 170 and 180 and 5 yards of carry and some of the things that we've seen this year. What are the very principles that go into that?
I mean, there's principles of what we believe in the run game is staying square at the point of attack, all 11 guys, setting the edge, having a firm, knocking them back inside out, and then making the tackle. You have to be able to leverage the football. Now, what scheme you're in and when you move and where you put guys and all that stuff, that's on per game. That's offense based and what you feel like you're doing well defensively and who's out there for you on personnel wise. But this team, if you're not careful, they can gash you in a hurry, and you can play 15 plays well in a row, and in the 16th play it creases you and you got to get it on the ground. So they're a really good operation. I've had a ton of respect for these guys. I've been going against Kyle Shanahan since 2014, And so, I mean, he's familiar with what we do. We're familiar with what he does, and we got to go out. We got to go out play him. I mean, that's just the simple fact of the matter.
You mentioned those 4 principles of stopping the run. Are there ones that you're doing well right now as a team, and ones you're struggling with?
We're not leveraging the ball well on the second level as well as we need to be. I think for the most part, our interior guys are fighting their tails off. Our edge mechanics are, for the most part, are playing pretty well. Things we want to improve on in that front, but the second level run fits right now is we're falling short.
Any idea, Coach? I know it's early and the guys probably aren't even in the building yet, but any idea with a quick Thursday turnaround how guys came out of it? I know Leonard fought his butt off to get out there and play yesterday, and the guys obviously banged up, but any sense of A, how guys came out of it, and B, what could be back maybe Thursday?
There's not a lot of news on this front right now, Brock. I think Chenna's might be longer than we wanted with his thigh, and then I'm not sure about Derek Hall. We'll get some news on that one, and I'm not sure about Requan, but I think I'm not sure about. I haven't heard anything on Leo's front. I'm confident it came out clear, but I don't know at this point.
Do you have a sense as to whether you'll get Boye back at practice this week?
And Boye, I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure on his front as well.
The NFL doesn't care, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to care.
The NFL just moves on. Man.
Yeah, that's right.
You said you've been going against Shanahan forever. What is it that sets that scheme apart? What has made him so effective throughout the years?
I think it's the aggressive, I'd say the violence and precision on how they run their run game is really good. They hang their hat on what they do, and I think the thing that you respect most about it's like they've taken their system that they you turn on the 2014 tape, and a lot of the same blocking schemes, but how they get there is really evolved, and how they utilize their personnel is unique. Similar to like what Mike Macdonald's done in Miami a little bit. And then they've done their spin on it with because they have more speed and things like that. So they do a great job.
Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. We'll do it twice this week. You get to hang out with us twice, which is just awesome. We'll get to do this.
When's the next one?
We're going to do it on Friday after the Thursday night game.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good
and
deal.
then you'll get a whole week off of us, which will be even better. So, Coach, we appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. We'll do it on Friday. And Brock, we'll get out of here as well. The hay
is in the barn.
See you, everybody.